Wonder Woman! We're here to talk about the spoilers from first to final act, the very finale. And once more, if you haven't seen the film, I have a spoilers-free review on the channel. This is a big, gigantic spoiler warning because we are going to discuss spoilers and plot points, so you have been warned. So let's start with the exposition, which was actually very well handled in this film. I really like seeing Diana as a child training with her aunt Antiope on the Amazon island of Themyscira. I really like Robin Wright playing that role, and she was the one I mentioned in my spoilers-free review, which was the actress that was kind of wasted because I was really looking forward to see her, not only in this movie, but we know that we are actually going to get Amazons fighting parademons in the Justice League movie. So I was really looking forward to see her there, and unless it's a flashback, which I'm kind of inclined to think it is, we are not going to see her there, and I really would have liked to see it. I like both the kids that played Wonder Woman as, well, kids. And they both had good dynamics with Robin Wright as their aunt and Connie Nielsen as Hippolyta, the Queen of the Amazons. I also really like this very beautiful Paradise Island. It really looks like paradise. The visuals on this island are absolutely mesmerizing. I was astounded by the look of this island. And I really like the way Hippolyta tells Diana about the backstory of the Amazons, how they were created, what is their purpose, and their purpose here is refurbished from the comics to be specifically to kick Harris's ass. I really enjoy that because there's also some changes that come that I really did enjoy. I actually thought it really fit well with this story and the role that Wonder Woman has to play in general in the DCEU. And I like how they refurbished this story not only for the Amazons to be specifically created to kick Ares' ass, but also the story was molded to fit into World War I, because it really wants to create this notion of a more gray area for both sides, like humanity being corrupted by Ares. And whether you have a god involved or not, it's always easier to put this perspective into World War I, because if Nazis are not in the picture, you can mold that shade of gray a lot better. Some of the problems I mentioned with the hand-to-hand combat, one-on-one, mano-a-mano fight sequences in the film were in this very beginning where you had the kids training with Antiope, and I thought there were too many shaky cam elements, too many cuts, and just too many close-up and wide shot, close-up and wide shot, close-up and wide shot. But then when we come to that final training sequence where Diana is already an adult played by Gal Gadot, and she's training against all these Amazonians, some throwing arrows, others hand-to-hand, others with swordplay, and then Antiope comes and Wonder Woman for the first time uses her bracelets. And that was very well done. That was something that came out of nowhere because that was the moment you felt, alright, we're going to get into the meat of Diana and the Amazons and why Hippolyta didn't want her to train. Because we have that sudden line of how she doesn't want Diana to find out her real origins, and from that moment on I thought, okay, they're going to do that one change they did at a time in the comics that Ares is actually going to be her father, and the movie surprised me. Then Steve Trevor arrives, Diana saves him, and we have this nothing short of epic fight sequences with German soldiers with rifles and guns fighting against ironclad women on horses who are true warriors. And this is where we see Robin Wright's character die, and I just thought, damn, I wanted to see more of her. Even though we wouldn't actually see more of her in this film, I thought she would have a bigger role to play in general in the DCU as well, or at least, again, in Justice League. The first scene where Diana goes to see Trevor while he's taking a bath, that had me in stitches. I was crying out loud from so much laughter. That was so great. That was so awkward in the best, most intentional way possible. I really love the dynamic in this very first scene they share throughout, alone, talking. And I really like what she learns from Steve Trevor there. There are seeds planted in there for the rest of the movie to have a payoff, and it does have a payoff for that. Not necessarily in a way of disrespecting, but because she feels like she has a bigger purpose and she must help humanity, because humanity is corrupted by Ares. That's what she believes, and that is what in this world is actually true. So I thought that was really well handled. I like she goes to get the shield. I like that she goes and gets the sword. I like that she sees her suit and thinks, okay, new suit. I'm needing some new clothes, so I'm going to dress up in style to go into the outer world. And given that her aunt did die, I thought it was really well handled that she had her tiara, because it's not called anything else on the film. And one of the problems I had with the film at the time was when Hippolyta, after Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor go away on the boat, she turns into one of the Amazons and says, well, the less she knows, the better. And I thought that line at the time was really shoved in your face, like, do you see what we're getting at here? Do you? Do you now, audience? I thought that was really horribly done, and again, the movie did pleasantly surprise me by the end. And while we're still on Themyscira, let me just add that I love that whether it was Patty Jenkins or the screenwriter, I love that they gave every actress, including Connie Nielsen and Robin Wright, subtle accents to blend in with Gal Gadot's, because Amazons, as described at least in this film, they speak thousands, or at least hundreds, of languages. English is not necessarily their primal language, so I really enjoyed how they gave that little touch to make Gal Gadot not stand out in a bad way, and it really serviced the actress to build on her performance and the believability of this world, of these characters, and of Wonder Woman especially. I thought the sequences with Wonder Woman in London were really well done. I thought she had this innocence to her. She had this purity to her soul, psychologically, that was so beautifully handled. And again, one of the things Patty Jenkins did really well as a screenwriter, portraying Wonder Woman as an innocent person, portraying her in the best way possible, really displaying the values of Wonder Woman and what she stands for. I really enjoy when they go to get Sammy and Spud, I am still going to call him Spud, and they go on to Germany, and this scene, when they get to Germany and they are crossing that bridge, they really display very subtly, just with a few shots, no words needed, how dangerous, how bad and terrible war is. Because we see these shots of people just completely ruined, people we have never seen before, but yet these people look so poor, they look so distraught, they look so broken. It's actually really hard to watch, but Patty Jenkins knows that she just needs to show us this. She just needs to quickly show us, look at what these people are going through. You know this, you have seen histories of the war and documentaries, on books, whatnot. Wonder Woman is seeing this for the first time, and this is one of the few aspects where I thought Gal Gadot did it very well. She displayed Wonder Woman's despair at seeing these people like this and really driving her even more to help these people, especially when they get to No Man's Land and Steve and the others want to move on after that scene where they are on the campfire and Spud is having nightmares because of his PTSD, where I thought that was very subtly well handled. Again, such beautiful moments of storytelling in this film. I really loved it. No Man's Land comes, Diana is not going to move on without helping, or at least try to help these people. And when we have that famous slow motion couple of shots from the trailers, we have this one shot that we don't see in the trailers that lingers on her face. She's going into battle for the first time against men that handle weapons that killed her aunt, as well as other Amazons. And not only is this village fight sequence epic, not only is this incredibly beautifully choreographed and well done, the fight inside Wonder Woman when she's just there handling the bullets with a shield and then the other soldiers move on after her, gaining courage after her efforts, what she's going through right there, and she joins really in with the army as they move forward by her side. In this moment, Gal Gadot beautifully displayed the fear, yet the drive of Wonder Woman. She was exhilarated by this battle experience. She wanted this. She wanted to do this not only because she loves to battle, she's an Amazon, because she wanted to help, but she knows she must be afraid. She is truly afraid. She displays this beautifully without a single word, and we go into the physicality of Wonder Woman right after that. Gal Gadot did a fantastic job at portraying Wonder Woman psychologically and physically. She handled the fight sequences incredibly well. You believe that that is Gal Gadot. I am actually not sure if she did not have stunt doubles. There are moments where Wonder Woman is actually 3D animated, but I know some sequences were really actors choreographing a fight scene, and I'm not sure if Gal Gadot did all of her fight scenes or any of the fight scenes. To my eyes, I believe that that was Gal Gadot doing the stunts. Maybe some stunts she didn't do herself, but I did believe that she was there and she did them spectacularly when she jumps to the top of the church and just smashes it with a shield. We have that beautiful moment of the people thanking her, and then the fantastic moment of them taking the picture that Batman recuperates for Wonder Woman in the beginning of the film where she goes into the Louvre. Then the movie kind of stops because we do need to have a little more build of relationships between all these characters and connect to all of them besides Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. And this scene again has another moment that at the time didn't work for me. It really didn't, because Wonder Woman goes into the room with Steve Trevor and they start to kiss and we know what happens next, and I was like, does Wonder Woman really actually need the pleasures of the flesh because of the conversation they had on the boat, which is really funny by the way. But then because of something that happens later in the film, and you know what it is, I thought it really worked to have Wonder Woman have some true contact, true intimacy with a human being, to really humble her, just like they did with Superman in many different ways in Man of Steel, to really bring her down to our level, to make her relatable. She does feel pleasure with certain things that we feel pleasure as well. And before I move on, I gotta talk about Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor, with his mission of being a spy and all, he has so many layers to him. His relationship with Etta Candy, which did not annoy me as much as I thought she would, but also didn't add to the movie, but also didn't detract from it. I thought Steve Trevor, just like Wonder Woman in different ways, had a lot of drive to him. This guy was passionate about trying to save the world, trying to stop this war, trying to save the innocent, and I thought he did really well at being this leader of the group, because he was the emotional core of this team. He was this guy who, despite being American, had friends within the British Congress. He was this guy who, despite being American, had a Native American trying to help him. He was this guy who had friends around the world, and you feel that friendship, that camaraderie between all the members of the team when the guy who has nothing to fight for, no reason to be there, goes after him and helps him as much as he can. And one aspect I really enjoyed about Steve Trevor was that he was a disbeliever about Ares and the gods till the end. He didn't believe anything Diana said. He trusted her enough to send her into the war and to let her do her own mission through her own beliefs, but he didn't believe in the gods until he actually saw it. And it was at that moment when he actually saw Diana fighting Ares and fighting the one being who corrupted men and who caused the war, that he truly sent himself off to sacrifice. No need to explain his disbelief, no need to explain his newfound belief, just belief that he believed in Diana, that he believed in her cause, that he believed what she was fighting for, and that their causes really came together, really converged at that moment. Dr. Poison was also a character that for most of the movie did not actually work for me. She was one-dimensional. And by the end of the movie, let's face it, she is one-dimensional, but I like that they let her live. I like that they leave a door open for her to be a villain in another film. Not a main villain though. I don't think she has the prowess or imposes a real threat to be a main villain, because we do get to see this character as a very insecure character, a very fragile character emotionally due to the conversation she has with Steve Trevor at the gala. But I do think she can play a good role as someone who helps the main bad guy of another future installment. Look, I like Danny Houston. I really like this actor, and I think he could and should choose better roles, choose better characters. And for what he had to do in this movie, he did okay as far as the performance is concerned. I did believe him in this role, and I do think they have one incredibly laugh-out-loud moment where he and Dr. Poison throw this grenade and this mask inside a room full of Germans, and they stand out the door, and they just say this pun out loud, and they start laughing out loud, and the scene immediately cuts after that. And I thought that really worked, but also it really didn't, because it was just right out of left field, out of nowhere, something that I did not see these characters do, but I laughed. I laughed when they did that. David Thewlis, a man who we need to see more of. He's doing a killer job in Fargo, where he has those rotten teeth and he's playing a very despicable villain. And here, he immediately imposes a threat when he is revealed. Because Wonder Woman races to the base of the Germans where she meets Ludendorff, I think that was Danny Houston's name, and she immediately kills him. They have that spectacular fight scene where she kicks his ass! And she throws him up in the air over that big tower, and she grabs onto the lasso, she puts him around his feet, and she smashes him down on the roof, and she immediately plunges the sword through his chest. Immediately when this happened, the sword hadn't even gone through all the way to the back. I knew it. David Thewlis is fucking Ares. Yes! And immediately when he shows up, I was like, come on, let's get to the fight. We know what we want to see. You know what we want to see. But they still have a conversation. We still get to know a little bit more of Ares after, throughout the movie, his threat is constructed. It is built upon and built upon and built upon. There is a threat in this guy and we know it, and that really worked well for me. The thing that did surprise me The thing that did also surprise me right here was that Ares was not really her father. That was not the reveal. The reveal was that the sword was not the God Killer sword. Diana was the God Killer. She was the weapon. I think the movie did a fantastic job in not letting that weaken her beliefs, because whether you thought it was good or bad as a reveal or as a plot point, this aspect shouldn't really affect Diana on the long haul, because she is a strong character on her own. Whether she was created as a weapon or as a human being, she has shown throughout this film that she makes her own decisions. Whether it's against men or against her mother, she is her own person. Not necessarily a good reveal, but a very good role and a good villain. Ares was tremendous. He was OP in this finale, where he throws just stuff at Wonder Woman with thoughts, and he has lightning, and he pulls off that big chunk of rock from the ground and smashes her, and then Wonder Woman starts fighting him. When he finally puts on his armor, let's say, I was really surprised with the little shots that we have, a close-up of David Thewlis being seen under that helmet. I was really happy to see it, because we still have that voice of David Thewlis. They did modify it a little bit to be a bit echoey, but they did not modify it enough to be, okay, they just put some voice actors in the booth and we have all these voices making Ares, and he smashes Wonder Woman around, Wonder Woman smashes him around. I thought this final battle sequence was tremendous. I adore this final fight between Ares and Wonder Woman, where you have the rest of the team going up into this plane and Steve Trevor making the sacrifice right out of Captain America, the First Avenger. Guess what? Steve Rogers, Steve Trevor, they are basically the same yet different characters. Steve Trevor is very different psychologically from Steve Rogers, and I really liked that they actually, whether they want to admit it or not, really took a line out of Steve Rogers from Captain America the First Avenger, and he goes into this plane and he sacrifices himself. And then Wonder Woman gets into this monologue against Ares, which I can see a lot of people not liking. I can see a lot of people say it's cheesy as hell, because it is. But these are the values of Wonder Woman. This has always been the message of Wonder Woman, and this was what she had to learn in this film. That's why I like that in this movie, her mission is not to go into the world of men as an emissary of peace. Her mission in this movie is not to bring peace into the world, is to stop the war by fighting. That's what she spent her whole life training for. That's what she was taught to believe for how many years she lived. And then comes the moment where she gains strength from her beliefs in herself, from her beliefs in her aunt, from her beliefs in her as an Amazon, in her mother, and in the possible goodness of human beings. And she kicks everyone's ass throughout the fire, and she kicks Ares' ass. With that clank of the bracelets, thunder goes upon him, he is destroyed, for now at least, and we have this beautiful shot of Wonder Woman descending from the heavens with the sun coming up in the dawn, and her friends gathering around. They go back to London, they see Steve Trevor being honored, and I really enjoy that. Again, very subtle moments, very beautiful moments, moments that they don't linger a lot upon, but I thought that was really well done. This movie is funny, and throughout you feel the energy of this world, of these characters, of their drive, their psychological analysis. So yeah, despite all my flaws, I do really love Wonder Woman. It is a fantastic, epic film with grandiose spectrums looked upon. The character analysis is great, the journey is great. Despite some messy moments in pacing, they did not deter from my enjoyment of this film. And look, as a film, I think Wonder Woman does a tremendous job, not only at moving the DCU MCU universe forwards, but also as a summer movie, also as a film in general to show us a fantastic hero. It's not going to be in my top 10 superhero films of all time. It's not going to be in my top 15 superhero films of all time. It's still not as good as Man of Steel. That film is a fucking masterpiece. Wonder Woman is fantastic on her own right, on its own right. This will be a first day Blu-ray buy for me. Will go immediately to my shelf. And that is how great Wonder Woman is. And once more, Patty Jenkins, congratulations. You did it spectacularly. Congratulations, ma'am. Fan-fucking-tastic job. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Wonder Woman. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did you not? Did you like it more than I did? But let me know in the comments, my beautiful geekies. You are free to comment any spoilers you like. I can't wait to know your thoughts and for us to fully discuss Wonder Woman. And to my beautiful geekies who submitted videos for the Wonder Woman review, thank you so much. You guys are the freaking best. And for all of you watching this video, thank you so much for watching once more. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And even though you just watched this, if you haven't seen my Wonder Woman spoiler-free review, go to the channel and check it out. I also have a review for Man of Steel. And until tomorrow with another review, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!